Hello, welcome to Arsenal News 24-hour channel. Subscribe to not miss any news about Arsenal FC. Mikel Arteta will be holding his breath during the international break as his Arsenal stars prepare for the last hurdle, before the final Premier League sprint. With just 10 games left, the title is theirs to lose, and an 8-point lead over Manchester City gives them a good margin to play. Pep Guardiola's men have a game in hand to cut the gap to 5 points, but it has still been difficult to catch up with them for most of the year. Just a small slip would cause a lot of fear. Now things are approaching decision time, and every little choice in matches will have a big impact on what happens to the league. For Arteta, the 2-week break may have come at a good time. Arsenal won 4-1 and have scored 3 or more goals in 5 of their last 6 league games. The break for players also means more minutes for first-team stars in action for their countries. Arteta must be worried about Bukayo Saka, who was kicked in England's game in Naples on Thursday. While that's comforting, it's different from the treatment he gets at his club. Saka played until midway through the second half and looked fine, but Arteta would certainly prefer him to play a smaller role against Ukraine on Sunday. One player who hasn't even played for his country is William Saliba. The defender was knocked out against Sporting CP in the Europa League last week before missing out on victory over Crystal Palace. Having been called up to Didier Deschamps' France squad, he was dropped. "We hope that Willy Saliba has good news," Arteta said last week. "Again, we have to wait until tomorrow to get a better picture. There are concerns he could still face months with a back injury." Saliba is nursing fellow youngster Eddie Nketiah, who suffered an ankle injury before the break. Nketiah has shined for the Gunners this season and played as a backup to Gabriel Jesus during an important phase of the season. A quick break. If you are enjoying the news from the channel, leave your like to strengthen it so that we can always bring you the latest news about the Arsenal. Arteta was also optimistic about Nketiah's return, saying, "He's getting better. He's still in a splint. There are still a few weeks to go and we need to be patient. It was a bad injury and he has a big challenge ahead of him. Thank God he could have been worse. So he's not in a bad situation." The Gunners are without 2 players for the foreseeable future as Takahiro Tomiyasu has been ruled out for the rest of the season. A club statement said, "Tommy underwent successful surgery in London on Tuesday and will be ruled out until the end of this season. Everyone at the club will now work hard with Tommy so that he can take part in pre-season training next season." Elsewhere, midfielder Mohamed Elneny is still out with a long-term knee injury. We see how Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is dealing with the international break and injuries to some key players in his squad. With just 10 Premier League games remaining, the title is within reach for the Gunners, but they need to stay focused and deal with adversity. Injury to the likes of Bukayo Saka, Eddie Nketiah, and Takahiro Tomiyasu is a concern, but Arteta is confident in his squad and hopes those players can bounce back soon. Meanwhile, the international break could be beneficial for Arsenal players to prepare for the final sprint of the season. It will be interesting to see how Arsenal fare in the coming weeks, and whether they are able to maintain their advantage over Manchester City and clinch the Premier League title.